That is how you do it. That is how you get to the playoffs. You find a way to win a game that, you're not necessarily had your best game. You're playing as an opponent in the New York Mets that entered the series 8 games back. So technically, mathematically, still alive. They're going to give you their best, but the Phillies withstood it. Ranger Suarez pitched enough. They got enough offense, and tonight was just enough. And I'll take that. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Phightins final here on the Edge of Philly Sports with your boy Matty B. 5-4 Phillies with the win. The magic number is now down to 5. Potentially could find its way down to 4 by the end of the night, based on how the Chicago Cubs wrap up. It is 5-4 right now. Pirates over the Cubs in the top of the 9th. So the Phillies could come out of this night with a magic number down to 4. And this is what you need at this stage of the season. You need to win these games. You need to win the games against an inferior opponent in the New York Mets, who are not going to quit. They're going to keep bringing it. And this was a critical series, entering the series, the last weekend home series of the regular season, and a NL East series. And the Phillies did their business tonight. Just enough offense. Ranger Suarez pitched just enough as well. And the theme of tonight is just enough, but just enough was all that we needed. Phillies win 5-4, and they creep ever so close to a playoff berth here in 2023. Let's head over to Mr. and Mrs. Box Score, and let's roll this thing out. For the Mets, 4 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Phillies, 5 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. How the scoring, Nick Castellanos would get the Phillies going early on in this thing in the first inning. A 2-run single, knocking in Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner. 2-0 Phillies. But then in the second, Ranger Suarez, he kind of didn't pitch well, but again, he did enough. But McNeil would double in Lindor to make it 2-1, and then Beatty would knock in McNeil to make it 2-2. But then Alec Bohm in the third, a home run over to left center to make it 3-2 Phillies. Nick Castellanos sac fly in Harper to make it 4-2. That would be the Phillies would go out on top again. But here come the Mets. Alvarez in the fourth, sacking in McNeil to make it 4-3, and Vitos would homer in to tie it up at a 4. But then Nick Castellanos with a huge 6th inning shot to make it 5-4, and that is all the Phillies needed, as they were able to hold off the Mets 5-4 tonight. As I said, it wasn't a pretty game by no means, but it was enough game. They did just enough to do what they had to do to win. For the Mets, or for the Phillies offensively, Alec Bohm 1 for 4 with the home run and the RBI. Bryce Harper 2 for 4. Nick Castellanos 2 for 3 with a run, 4 RBIs, a homer. Is just an amazing story what he has been for the Phillies this year. Again, I've said this before. I shudder to think what the season would have been like without Castellanos, Stott, and to maybe a lesser extent Brandon Marsh, but and Alec Bohm. So it has been just a great story for Nick Castellanos this year. For the Mets offensively, Lindor was 2 for 4, and then McNeil was 3 for 4. They were the Mets' 2 biggest offensive outputters. The Phillies pitching Ranger Suarez gets the win, 4 and 6, 6.5, 5 hits, 4 runs. They were all earned. He walked 2, struck out 6. Hoffman, Kimbrel, and Alvarado comes on for the save, his 9th. Peterson, 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs. They were earned, 2 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, gave up the home run. Brigham comes in. He gets the loss. He went an inning and a half, and then Hartwig as well for the Mets. And that's how you have 5-4. Phillies were 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Phillies also swiped 1 base. The Mets stole 3 off of the Phillies tonight. They were 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They left 8. Phillies left 6. And there you have 5-4 Phillies. As I mentioned, magic number is now down to 5, potentially 4 by the end of the night. So we got to keep this thing rolling, and you got to keep winning the games. You got to win. I get Ranger left with the lead, but giving up 4 doesn't call for a standing ovation. No, it doesn't, Joey. But he did enough. Again, this is a situation where we got to get past all the pettiness. You got to go out there and you got to do your job to the best of your ability. Ranger did struggle, but he also made some good pitches when he had to make them. It was not a pretty game tonight. It was not a pretty win, but it was a win. And it doesn't matter how you get there. I've criticized the Phillies a lot this season for not playing pretty baseball and losing. I'm not going to criticize them for not playing pretty baseball and winning because you got to win. And tonight the Phillies did it, and they did it in a situation where they got to get a win no matter how they can do it. We are now 153 games into the season. Phillies now improved to 84-69 on the season, 10-10 now for the month of September, as we are definitely coming down the home stretch of this 2023 regular season. And tonight was what we needed. We needed a big win to get the weekend going. 3 more with the Mets, and then on the road to get to Pittsburgh and New York to wrap things up. But a good way to start things off. Ranger Suarez did enough. I emphasize enough to help the Phillies out in the victory tonight. Let's head over to the scoreboard. Games that are currently ongoing: 5-2 Guardians over the Orioles in the top of the ninth. Keep an eye on that. Pirates just added 3 more runs. It is now 8-4 Pittsburgh over the Cubs in the top of the ninth inning. Outstanding news for the Phillies, who are hopefully going to get that magic number down to 4 by the end of the night. It is 2-0 Tigers over the Athletics in the top of the 4th. Giants, Dodgers, 0-0 top of the 2nd. Games that have gone final: Rays over the Angels 5-4. Brewers over the Cardinals 6-0. Braves over the Nationals 10-3. And the Yankees over the Blue Jays 5-3. Again, 8-4 now. Pirates over the Cubs, top of the 9th, as the Phillies are looking to get that magic number down to 4. This series will continue on tomorrow from Citizen Bank Park. The Phillies will send Taijuan Walker, and he will be opposed by McGill. It's 7:05 start time on Apple Television for those of you who subscribe to the Apple TV app. I think this is the last time the Phillies are going to be streamed this year. So if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out. The most current standings, again, this is really kind of ongoing, but right now the Phillies are 3 games ahead of the Diamondbacks for that number 2 wild card spot. The Cubs are that 3rd spot. Marlins are a half game behind them, and the Reds are 1 game behind them. The Giants 3 and the Padres 4.5. So there you have the most updated standings of this Thursday night. So Joey asked me, do they end up with 90 plus wins? They may have to. They may have to end up with 90 plus wins. I'm going to say yeah. I think my original win total for the season was 90. I'm going to continue to hold on to that. I think they do get 90 this year. I think that's definite a possibility. They're going to need at least 4 more, so that's going to give them 86, or they'll need at least 2 more. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see 90. There's some definitely winnable games in there. It doesn't look like to be the hardest schedule to kind of overcome. So yeah, I'm going to say they get 90. I am. Eric says they need 90 for 4 seed names. Yeah, 6 more ones. Yeah, I think 90s. I don't think 90s out of the realm of possibility. Which would be 3 more than last year. So I'll take it. Again, I don't care. Whatever they got to do to get in the playoffs. And again, it's not, to me, the 1st seed, 2nd seed doesn't matter. 3rd seed doesn't matter. I just want to get in. I don't really care where they position themselves. You just got to get an invitation to the dance. What happens at the dance? Well, that's anybody's guess. But I just want to get there. I'm not jockeying for position. Obviously, if the Phillies are able to get that magic number down to 4 with a potential of clinching a playoff spot this weekend, does Rob Thompson sit there going into Pittsburgh and potentially, rest players? I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. Honestly, I really wouldn't. You got to start looking at your postseason rotation now. You got to start looking at how you're going to position your players for the postseason once you've locked the spot up. Rob doesn't seem to be the guy that kind of gets spun up around the axle about stuff like what spot they're in. He didn't seem too concerned about kind of throwing everything against the wall this season for some key series against NL East teams. So I wouldn't really look past the fact that he rests players once the Phillies do clinch. I don't know, but you got to start looking at that here in about 2 or 3 more games if all goes well. You're going to have to start looking at that. But first things first, Phillies magic number is now down to 5. Absolutely now down to 5. Could be down to 4 here in a little bit, depending on what happens out in Pittsburgh. 8-4, by the way. As I mentioned, the Pirates over the Cubs in the top of the 9th inning out in Chicago. So all is looking well for the Phillies so far on this night here in mid-September. Let's head over to pay some bills here on the network, Edge of Philly Sports. We got you covered. Got no Eagles football this weekend, but fear not, we got you covered. Tonight was the Locker Room Show with Mike Lauro, with Pat from Ambler guest hosting the Attacking Third Show, and then you're listening to me with the Phightins Final. Steel Steps, Phightins Final tomorrow, Phightins Final on Saturday, and then some PM and the AM all across all the time, and then some Phightins Final on Sunday. So we got you covered for the stuff that matters here on the network every day. We can, depending, no matter what the season is. And if you want to get down to Citizen Bank Park to witness some potential history, and that would be a Phillies clinching playoff berth, you might want to head over to Sherry's Tickets, where they will offer you great prices and no hidden fees for sports, concert, and theater. www.sherrytickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Save an additional 10%. We enter the promo code EOP10. Don't forget Dave Cherry for workman's compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, or criminal law. 610-565-0300. Head over to Dolan's to celebrate a potential Phillies playoff berth, where you can expect some Quizzo music, great times, memorabilia giveaways. You never know who might walk through the front door. Tell the folks over at Dolan's EOP sent you. And Philly Sports Trips, travel like the pros, phillysportstrips.com. What are you waiting for? Go over there and check out all the great stuff they have to offer as well. 5-4 Phillies tonight. Some encouraging stuff for the Phillies. I mean, Kyle Schwarber, he was 0 for 3 with a run, and he had a walk, struck out 3 more times. It's not encouraging, but what's encouraging is the continued play of Nick Castellanos, the continued play of Alec Baum, and the continued play of Bryson Stott. Bryson was 0 for 3 tonight, but he did find his way onto base with a walk. Without those 3 individuals, this season would be lost in space, Will Rogers. You really, I mean, win, lose, or draw at the end, it wouldn't have been a good season without the contributions of those individuals. Joe's asking, what is the magic number if the Cubs lose? It would be 4 to clinch. Phillies would pick up 2 games. It's 6 right now, or it was 6 heading into the night. Phillies reduce it to 5 with the winner of the Mets. They would go down to 4 with a loss by the Cubs. So it would be 4, but if the Phillies can get some help here from the Cubs. So here's just some help from the Cubs. Folks, it's going to wrap me up. I am done for the week. You will not see me back on the final until the early part of next week. So the rest of the guys got you covered all weekend long. I will be listening and tuning in and rooting on the Phillies from afar. I got some work to do this weekend. So let's hope we can keep this thing rolling. The next step is tomorrow. Taijuan Walker against Taylor McGill. Let's keep it going from the bank in South Philadelphia. Until we talk again, go Phils, and Harry the K. You know what I need.
He had high hopes. He had high hopes. He had high apple pie in the sky.